Number two, global immunity tsunami. What a daring thing to even say. We have a tsunami of infection no matter what vaccine is out there. No nation can say they're safe. No nation can say they're safe. The promise is if we vaccinate everybody that breathes, we'll be safe. Well, we can't even get the vaccines out there. 95% of Africa, that's 1 billion people, are not vaccinated. 52% of Americans are, 97% of Israelis are, 95% of the UK is. But see, one cell in the body goes down, could disrupt the whole chain. You have 1.6 quadrillion cells. We have 8 billion people. So you're only as healthy as your neighbor now because it's in the air, it's in the water, it's in the food. These foreign agents, wherever they're from, whether they're off planet, they're in a lab from Harvard and Wuhan, it doesn't matter. The main thing is, what is the science that we're all missing here that could bring us the Holy Grail, natural immunity? Do you know that Napoleon Bonaparte was surrounded by people with plague in his day? He was surrounded by hundreds of thousands of soldiers of both sides in the midst of the greatest battles and never got the plague. William Shakespeare never got the plague. In his day, it was a form of bacteria. These cycles have come and gone, whether they were made even in those days or not, in some lab or off-planet place, sprayed in the air, chemtrailed. Yeah, good old gods of Eden, William Brantley. You'll see a history you've never seen before. Is it true? In a certain sense, it doesn't matter. I'm just bringing a lot of perspectives. Let's go back to the miracle here that we're missing, okay? 80 to 95% of these miracle molecules should be in our food. They were in our food 100 years ago. 100 years ago, our health rates were good, okay? All health signs are going down. Do we have healthier hearts and lungs and kidneys and diabetes and every kind of pandemic is here now. The highest rates ever in history. After 100 years of the promise of synthetic miracle, we'll make this molecule. We'll take nature and we'll put it in a lab and we'll patent it. Why don't you know this story, generally speaking? Because for 200 years, no one has been able to patent these molecules. The fulvic acid is so small, it'll go inside any cell, blood-brain barrier, your mitochondria, which are so tiny, okay? You can take the best minerals in the world, okay, if you can afford them, and even when you get them, you only absorb about 13%. That'll be in your blood. They will not get into one cell without fulvic acid. Fulvic acid is the quarterback. Fulvic acid is 1/3 of the class of molecules. There are the humate, in general, the humic acid, fulvic acid, and the human molecule, Humin, okay? They're all important, okay? Let's cut to the chase here. Go to MotherEarthLabs.com, $48. The product is called The Gift. She had pituitary cancer, okay? She was with Merck, one of the great. Did you ever hear of the Merck manual? No doctor can be a doctor without studying the Merck manual. It's the manual of drugs and side effects, okay? There's not a registered nurse on earth that doesn't know about the Merck company and the Merck manual, okay? So she worked with Merck for 15 years. When she got that form of cancer, she said, well, what drug do you recommend? They says, well, for that one, we would say the cure would be death. So you're on your own. So she studied fulvic acid, was amazed by the scientific reports from all over the world, PhDs, Beijing University, the most premier universities. The federal government has 1,500 articles on humic, fulvic, human molecules for immunity and many other benefits, but you have to be able to decipher the scientific language. 1,500 on PubMed.gov, the premier science website for the federal government. This is manna in the Bible. Whether you're a Christian or not, there are stories of miraculous superfoods that help people during the times of plague. The Israelites had quite a few plagues going. They had locust plague, We have a locust plague. They called me from Ethiopia, the people that work with the government for agriculture, and said, what do? We have 1 trillion locusts over here. They ate a whole crop of everything overnight in Ethiopia. That was about last year, okay? That's a long story, what I advise them to do and their reaction, okay? I'm an insider, a polymath, as I described in the first part of this 3-part 10-minute series. I have an extreme background in science, working with people that were affiliated with Nobel Prize winners, one person alone. Throughout history, no one ever won 3 unshared Nobel Prizes. Okay, these were the people who trained me. Okay, I do have a degree, but the degree I got from them is unparalleled. And I work with the top people in 4 or 5 industries like that. That includes banking. That includes media. That includes farming. I grew up on a 400-acre farm. I know what it means to pitch hay till you almost pass out. I know what it means to milk a herd of dairy cattle, about 20. And that ain't easy. You get up when they get up, okay, about 5, 6 a.m. So I've done farming in various parts of the world here in the United States. I've visited farms all over the world. I have a friend that grows 25,000 acres of hemp, canola, all kinds of pulses, legumes in Saskatchewan. British Columbia, Canada is a vast nation. So getting back to manna, what was manna? What does manna, a reality beyond religion? Well, the leading archaeologists and botanists feel like they solved that problem. In the Bible, Moses says, go out and collect this white stuff. It'll fall from the sky. And today's scientists, after 50 years, feel that that was a raisin, a sap, drops of sap that fall off a tree. When the tree is filled with sap, you can tap it like a maple tree, or the sap will exude and fall off from the leaves. So it was a white substance from a desert bush, okay? But it was digested, pre-digested with a trillion, maybe a billion bacteria, friendly bacteria, fermented, okay? So these bugs had these friendly bugs, microbes within them, and they would digest the sap. Then it would fall to the ground. They would collect it. They never collected on Sabbath because Moses says, well, even nature has a cycle, so it needs to rest. We used to rest our soil 7 years, 3 to 7 years. All the great farming traditions, the Amish, they still try to do it. They shun electricity. Electricity is, I can't get, that's too big of a subject here. But this is an electrolyte. There is a natural form of electromagnetism. It won't be what comes off your cell phone, which may be very damaging. You go to Altera.com, Golden Earth. Glenn Ryan, triple PhD, showed that little miracle molecule of minerals they put on the back of the cell phone for $10. Altera, Aulterra, Golden Earth. There's a lot of miracles in this world that looks like it has none. There's more than ever. But go to Mother Earth Labs. That's $48 for a month's supply. I'm not paid to say anything on this show, to sell, promote, convince anybody. This is a public service. Tomorrow, I may have an agreement with any one of these companies, and the moment I do, I will let people know. So, I'm a free agent. I have no agenda. I have no need to lie, twist anything, okay? I'm trying to bring the best, most accountable science to the living. Do we have a few more minutes in this cycle, Alan, or is this it for show number 2?
This would be 1 more minute.
1 more minute. Symbiotica, Cymbiotika, has 5 kinds of fulvic acid, humic acid, and for about $45 a month, refundable. You should never use it without 10, 16 ounces of non-tap water. The rest of the day, you can go swimming in chlorine and fluorine, which is what you do when you take a shower and have coffee at McDonald's or wherever. I don't care if it's $3 coffee at Starbucks. It's filled with fluorine and about 200 chemicals. Take this only with non-tap water. Once or twice a day, 10 drops. It's tasteless, colorless. Might be a little dark in color, there is a powder, a liquid, a capsule form. So that will be show number 2. Stay tuned for the third in the series, Global Immunity Tsunami by 2024. How and now, I will tell you,